Hello, thank you so much for coming back to watch this week's Tutorial Tuesday. So today I'll be showing you how to get the perfect full coverage base with no caking. It's a challenge sometimes, but I finally got it. So if you'd like to see what I used and the tips and tricks I used to get a full coverage base to cover all of these zits, then please keep on watching. Just so you know, I do upload a daily video here on this channel all about budget beauty. So it can be a tutorial like today. It can be a makeup review, skincare, hair care. It really does just depend on the day of the week. So please make sure that you do subscribe, hit that notification bell, bookmark the page as well. I also do a live stream every Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I also have a brand new channel. I'll link it down below. It's called Gourmet on a Budget. It's all about budget food. So recipes, taste test reviews, stuff like that. I upload on that one 7 days a week too, so I'll link it down below. Oakley dokley. So, I'm in my mid-30s, and I still break out. You can see I got some pretty good ones on my chin. I got lots of acne discoloration. I have combo skin. I have hormonal acne, and also just, I don't know, I just break out. So, I personally do like to cover it. You don't have to, but I like to cover it myself. I found the perfect combo of stuff that works on my skin, but a lot of it's going to be the tips and tricks on how to do full coverage without it looking cakey and thick, which I think that's why a lot of people are turned off by full coverage, is because it can look very thick and mask-like, but I got you covered, don't you worry. Okay, my skin is clean and moisturized with a light moisturizer. So the very first thing I'm going to be going in with is this Amuse Cosmetics Set in Stone Setting Spray. I'm going to be kind of using this as a primer. This will give something for our makeup to stick to, so it will be long lasting. It also will do a little bit of extra moisture, which cakiness can come from too matte of a foundation, too much powder, too much product. So let's do this. Oakley dokley. So as you can see, I'm actually in the middle of a eyeshadow review, but I wanted to stop and do my skin real quick. But, oh, okay, as you can see, that did leave my skin looking kind of dewy. This is actually a long-lasting setting spray. It's supposed to kind of help your makeup, but it definitely helps to impact moisture. Okay, so next trick is putting concealer underneath your foundation. So, there's a lot of beauty gurus out there that do that. I'm not saying I'm a beauty guru. I'm not saying that at all. But like, I know one of my favorite people I watch is Thrift Fic. Her name's Cassie. She is a under the foundation concealer. When I first started watching, because everyone else is like, oh no, you're supposed to do concealer over foundation. But it really does help. You can build up the coverage where you need it, and you don't have to use as much foundation, which it's actually what you're supposed to do. Foundation is just supposed to even out the skin tone. It's not meant for coverage, which I know sounds weird. If you need coverage, you're supposed to use a concealer. So concealing underneath the foundation is really, really going to help. Okay, one of my most favorite concealers is the Physicians Formula InstaReady Full Coverage Concealer. And I just recently found another shade. So originally I had Fair, and then I found Light. Physicians Formula does run dark, so just be aware of that. Okay. The only thing I don't like about this product is the pump. It's hard to just pump out a little bit of product, but you'll see in a minute, it's extremely, extremely full coverage. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick some up on the back of my hand. Gently warm it up a little. It's full coverage. I'm just gonna go ahead, do a little bit of targeted concealing. Right there. Okay, and then, yeah, I have all this old discoloration. I've had to redip. This stuff is crazy full coverage. Yeah, just have broken capillaries around my nose. Okay. So I'm gonna get my coverage from the actual concealer. So now, I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of this underneath my eyes. You You do not need a full pump of this concealer. It is that good. Okay. So now this is going to be totally up to you. I personally don't like using a sponge. I like using a brush. I feel like you can get better coverage. It's quicker for me personally. So, just gonna stipple. But do you see that? So, when we do go in with foundation, we don't have to go in with a ton. It's just targeted concealing. You know, the makeup that you see on YouTube videos, okay, even some of my YouTube videos, you know, in real life, it can maybe not look so great. It can look thick, it can look cakey, and sometimes it just doesn't look great. I do try to do more realistic makeup. I mean, yeah, blue eyeshadow might not be for everybody, but I'm talking about like my skincare, you know, or skin makeup anyway. Try to do something that's gonna be a little bit more what real life people would do, because on camera it might look beautiful, but in real life it's gonna look super cakey, super, just, yeah, it can look really garish and too much. But okay, as you can see, I've gotten all my coverage from the concealer. Okay, just a little bit between my brows. As you can see, I haven't really had to touch my forehead because my forehead's clear. Okay, but just gonna make sure everything's covered. But, okay, here's really, really close. Okay. You can still see the zits a little bit, but all my major discoloration and major zits, they're pretty covered, okay? You can stop here and just apply powder. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to go in with some foundation. I'm going to be going in with the Revlon Colorstay. This is for combination oily skin. It's a matte foundation, and it is a medium coverage foundation as well. If you're going in with a heavy-duty, super full coverage concealer, you don't need to go in with a super heavy, full coverage foundation. That's when you can start looking a little cakey and things will start settling into fine lines and stuff. It's because you've got two super duper coverage products that, you know, it's too much. Of course, if you're using a light coverage concealer, go in with that heavier duty foundation, okay? But have one coverage product be like the super full coverage, and then definitely do a lighter coverage for the other product. Okay. So I'm going to be doing 1.5 pumps. 1.5 pumps, that's it. So 1.5. When is the last time you saw a beauty person on YouTube do 1.5 pumps? Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and stipple this on, just placing it. I'm not going to be blending it out yet. Okay, when I hardly have any left on my brush, I'm going to go ahead and hit my forehead. My forehead's pretty clear. Remember, we're just using the foundation to even out the skin tone, like even out the skin tone, okay? Now we're just gonna go ahead and start stippling this in. Do it gently so that way you're not disturbing the concealer we already laid down, but make sure you buff in good around the hairline. That way it looks as natural as possible. Make sure you get the sideburn area. Whatever's left, I'm just going to go in and hit my ears. Okay, so as you can see, once again I'm going to get really close, and my camera does film in 4D, or it's high quality, I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but you can see it doesn't look cakey. Okay, I mean, it looks really nice. Can you tell I'm wearing foundation and concealer? Yes, of course you can. I'm not going to say you can't, but you can't, it doesn't look cakey or like I'm wearing a mask. You can still see my natural skin texture underneath it, which I personally prefer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with a little bit of concealer and just do a little bit of brightening underneath the eyes. This is the Essence Camouflage Plus Matte Concealer. Just a little bit. I'm going to be hitting a little bit like right here. In those inner corner of the eyes. That's all. I'm not going to be doing anywhere else. I personally don't like using like a concealer for brightening, like all over the face, like highlighting down the center. And I've tried it. Once again, it's just an extra layer of product that I don't need on my skin. And my skin is, I'm not going to say it's mature, but it's getting there. I mean, I've got wrinkles. So when I put on a lot of extra layers of especially cream products, liquid products, it can really exaggerate my skin texture, which my skin texture is not awesome. I have a lot of embedded whiteheads and blackheads and stuff like that. So it always makes me feel really good when people are like, oh, you have such pretty skin. And it's like, thank you, but I don't feel like it looks great. But okay, we got some under eye brightness, brightened up those inner corners a little bit, but there we go. Next, I'm going to be going in with some finely milled powder. This is the Coty Airspun Translucent Extra Coverage. I'm a budget channel, you guys know this, but these are some of my most favorite complexion products, okay? You've probably seen me use the Coty Airspun for a while now. I'm still on the same container. Okay, just put a little bit of powder on my brush. It's not so much that you can actually see it, and I'm going to set my under eyes. Okay. This will help to reduce creasing, and it will help extend the wear, but I personally don't like to bake. I feel like I'm breaking all the YouTube beauty guru rules. I don't like baking because it really is too much for my under eyes. Once again, it's adding a lot more product than I need, which is going to exaggerate texture. That's what can make foundations and like your base products look fake, look cakey. It's the texture of your skin, and then you're piling stuff over it, and it's just exaggerating that texture. So I don't personally bake. Just doesn't work for me. But because all the beauty gurus did it, I did try it. I will put extra powder in my especially oily T-zone, but once again, it's not so much where you're seeing it sitting on the skin. And I really, really press it in. I'm not like buffing it. I'm pressing it in with the brush. And it really helps to minimize the pores. I have a very large enlarged pore, and kind of really pressing that powder in will help to with that pore size. And pressing it on also helps with not disturbing the foundation and concealer. Okay, I'm just going to dip in a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm dipping my brush into the cap where I have all my powder, and then I have the little container there, and I like kind of tap it in there. So there's powder on here. There's just not a ton of powder. Once again, I want to do as the thinnest amount, like I want to do the thinnest layer possible. Okay, that is concealer, foundation, powder done. Now, you definitely want, if you want to go in with contour, bronzer, blush, highlighter, to go ahead and do that now, okay? But here is my skin up close. Once again, it looks really, really pretty. It looks natural. It's definitely full coverage, but it doesn't look cakey or anything like that. So I'm not going to do any contouring or blush or anything because I just wanted to show you just the base, okay? Last step is going in with a setting spray. I didn't used to really believe in setting spray. There's a few setting sprays that actually do extend the wear of my foundation, but setting spray for me more is about kind of melting those layers together. So I'm going to be going in with the CoverGirl Outlast Active. This is one of the ones that actually does extend the wear for me, but you'll see a difference, okay? I'm going to try to do just half my face. I don't know if you're going to, I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but we'll try. Okay, so here's the side with the setting spray. Here's the side without. Do you see how this looks a little bit more like skin? I have just a natural highlight on my chin and it's dry, okay? But do you see how it just looks a little bit more skin-like? And this one you can definitely tell is powdered. It's very, very matte. But I just have some very natural looking highlights up on the high points of my face because the light's hitting me and it kind of helped reduce that powderiness. Let's go ahead and okay. But this is pretty much my everyday foundation like routine. Like once again, I love this. It just looks really beautiful on the skin. It looks okay, when I say natural, you know what I mean. Like it doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look heavy. You get really close in here. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look like I'm wearing a mask. So, my little suggestions, okay? Doesn't matter if you want to use a brush or a sponge, okay? It doesn't matter if your skin is oily, dry. If you have discolorations, hyperpigmentation, zits, okay? The thing that helps to reduce the look of cakey heaviness is making sure that your skin is moisturized, whether you're using like a spray like I did, a heavy duty moisturizer, whatever. I do prefer going in with a spray. Then you want to go in and conceal first. Your concealer is actually the coverage product, okay? That's actually what it is meant for, is the coverage. Go ahead and just spot conceal where you need to, okay? Blend that out with a sponge or brush, your fingers, whatever you prefer. Then you're gonna go in with your foundation, okay? Foundation is meant to just even out your skin tone, okay? Like I said, my forehead doesn't have a lot of discoloration. It doesn't break out that often. So I was able to just use foundation, and since I'm using just a medium coverage foundation up on my forehead, there's going to be a lot less creasing up there than if I went in with concealer where I didn't need it, and then went in on top of that with a heavy duty, high coverage foundation. There'd be a lot more caking, a lot more settling into fine lines. So yeah. After you blend it out, once again, you want to make sure you're setting it. Once again, there's some great powders out there meant for dry skin. Revlon has a great like hydrating powder foundation. So does Becca. Becca has an amazing Hydra Mist setting powder. That stuff's great. I personally do love the Coty Airspun. Go in with the thinnest amount of powder that you possibly can. Okay, the powdering, for a lot of people, that's when it will start looking cakey. Try, if you have problems with baking, try not baking. Okay, the powder's just meant to set the makeup. Okay, it's making a wet, gooey foundation and concealer. It's meant to kind of make it dry. Okay, so it's not meant to add extra coverage. It's not meant to do any of those things. It's just meant to set the makeup. That's it. Go in with the least amount of powder that you possibly can, and then go in with a setting spray after you put on all your other powder products. But it really is beautiful. The only place I do crease is up on my forehead because I have two very deep forehead lines, but around my mouth I don't have any problems with, nothing like that. So that is my full coverage without getting cakey or anything like that kind of base routine. I hope you did enjoy it. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and share it leave a comment down below. What are some of your tips and tricks that you use for a non-cakey foundation, concealer, powder, all that routine? Let me know down below in the comments. And don't forget, you're always welcome to follow me on my other social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all at Budget Glam Babe. Don't go anywhere quite yet. Another video should start autoplaying here very shortly, or you can always click on one of the ones that'll be popping up around the screen. But yeah, I'll see you here in just a sec.